All right, guys, welcome to another team training. This is a Tuesday team prosperity training that we do every week that takes place at 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. We go into different parts of our business model. We go into professional growth, basically anything and everything that can help you get out of your own way, beat your internal and your external competition, find success in the industry, build this as an asset, not just a commission check, and get what you originally thought you were going to get returned from this business. I'm going to show you the framework today. Normally, what we do is we start off by going back over what we went through last week. However, the last couple weeks were the end of the year. So we kind of took that off, didn't do any training. It's the first training of 2026 to today, not just another training. It's a line in the sand for some of you guys. 2026 will reward agents who are intentional, who are structured and disciplined, and it will actually punish those on the other side who wing it, drift, and stay comfortable. Remember, all that growth comes outside the comfort zone. The difference between a frustrating year and a breakthrough year is not talent, it's not licensing, it's not luck. It's the decisions you make daily around the tools, execution, communication, and growth you either choose to engage with or not. This training is about what to lean into and also what to eliminate. The goal here is not just drifting by month to month paying your bills. The goal here is to build a business, a career, and an asset, not just sell insurance policies and just get by month to month. If you want to do that, that's basically what a W-2 job will give you. It'll give you a false sense of security of just living month to month, maybe putting a little bit away, but you've got that ceiling. Here, there's no ceiling. You're the ceiling. What can you do to get out of your own way, learn and implement what's necessary to have a successful year? The new year comes with a lot of resolutions, right? And what are resolutions? Well, they start in December. Hey, come January, I'm going to do this. I'm going to stop drinking, stop smoking, lose weight, start to exercise. What does that do? It kicks the can down the road. I got the rest of the last of the year to do whatever I want: eat, drink, not do anything, do all the things that I should be concentrating on removing, I'm doing more of. And then as January creeps in, oh man, I got to make these changes. Resolutions don't work, guys. Why? Because they're just wishes. You have to change your habits. You have to change your commitments. You have to change your activities. You have to change your playground, so to speak, to make sure that you go out and find the success that you're looking for. So these are the do's of a successful 2026. If you want to execute, grow, you want to grow your income, you want to grow your business, you want to grow your agency, you want to grow your asset, these are the do's. You've got to have the right tools and infrastructure. You have to leverage systems. If you're looking around and you don't have a CRM, you don't have any type of marketing system, you keep stuff on your calendar, you write stuff down, you have a spreadsheet, that's already a recipe for disaster and a recipe for failure. You got to build with the right tools and infrastructure. You cannot scale without systems. Even if you're successful by chance and you're starting to build an agency and people are coming to you and say, hey, what do you do? Well, I just wing it every day and hope for the best. Tools are not optional, guys, in this year, 2026. They are leverage. We are looking to work with you guys one on one if you're willing to go out and put the tools in place to be successful. If you're just going to wing it, you don't need any help. You don't need any coaching, mentoring to wing it because you're just winging it, right? Whatever happens, happens. That's called hope and pray. That's not a business model. That's not a plan of action. You need a CRM. We have an excellent offer for Go High Level to work with a developer, AI voice, workflows, funnels, everything you need to get going. I put iDecide on here, but it's really type of anything that you guys can use for education, automation, calendars, workflows, scripts, presentations. And if you really look at that small list, every one of those things can be completed with the Go High Level. Your Go High Level is your dashboard. It's your central system for your business. We have an excellent opportunity for you guys to brand yourself, get help with a one-on-one developer. You just have to reach out, start talking to those people and making the decisions that you're going to be successful. If you are relying on memory, motivation, or manual follow-up, you're toast. You're already behind. The year's already a failure. You need to get in a position to give yourself every pathway to be successful. Tools don't replace effort, they multiply it. So get the right tools in place, get the right effort in place, use the leverage, multiply those efforts, and watch what happens. Second do of this year is know who you're talking to. So many agents will talk to anybody about anything. That's a very hard way to build your business. Why? Because you have to be a chameleon. You have to blend into every conversation. What you want to do is develop personas. And I always tell you guys, if you were going to a cocktail party and there were people in the room and you got to pick who you got to hang out with, who is that person? Who do you like? Whose language do you speak? Find out that person, whether it's a homeowner, a young family, a professional, an agent. You have to speak to the right persona. When you develop personas, you study those personas. You start learning more about them than they know about themselves. And instead of handling objections as they come up, what you'll know and see is that you preemptively start handling objections before they can come up based on what? The persona. You talk to enough of them, you know basically what they're going to say before they even say it. So speaking to the right persona is so important. Nail down a persona, nail down messages that resonate with that persona, find out where they are offline and online, get in front of them with those messages, watch them start raising their hand and wanting, hey, I want the guide, I want access to the master class, I want to talk to somebody about this. Do you know who you're talking to? If you do, that's great. If you don't, that's a bad leading, red flag leading indicator. Generic messaging produces generic results. Clarity beats charisma. You can be the most charismatic person in the world, but if you're not clear, concise, articulate about what you say, people don't understand what you're trying to tell them, it falls on deaf ears. Core personas, homeowners who are struggling with debt, cash flow, protection. Now, we're not talking about struggling in terms of needing a life preserver to make it to the next month. I'm just talking about struggling. They see money come in, they see money come out, but there's nothing really happening other than we pay our bills and make it to the next month. That's the type of people we want to talk to. Young families, security, education, protection. Remember, the younger you are in the life cycle, the more liabilities you have. You have probably the mortgage, you have the kids, you got the spouse, you got a lot of things that you need to protect. What about professionals? Well, if they're making enough, guess what? Their biggest bill is going to be? It's going to be taxes. So when you learn how to get in front of somebody and not try to give them something that you think they need, but help them understand how to get rid of something that's a burden like debt, like taxes, that's where the conversations will turn meaningful for you. So professionals who are worried about taxes, retirement, or banking, great personas. And agents, we have a great acquisition ownership opportunity here. So they can come make income, they can leverage our tools, our coaching, mentoring, training, support. They can build equity, actually build an asset. Most agents out there are building somebody else's business. They can come into our fold and they can build a business which they take ownership and it will be paid for. When you know who you're speaking to, it's a lot easier to make those conversations. Your confidence goes up and resistance goes down. I always say, if you haven't picked up that phone in a while, it feels real, real heavy. If you start picking it up every day and making the calls, it feels real light. Your brain loves to do whatever it is that you're doing. If you put on a bad path, it's okay with that. Put on a good path, it's okay with that. You have to steer your brain into a repetition of good patterns. Number 3, nothing is accomplished unless you know what you're trying to accomplish. You have to have a written game plan. These are the goals, numbers, strategy, even your vision. You know, sometimes vision can be pictures and stuff, but your vision is going to propel you and motivate you and inspire you to get the goals, to get the tactics, to get the number, to get the strategy, to get the plan of action and execution. If you have things written down, it's a lot easier to follow. Same thing like with calendar. If you don't have any like client meetings, agent meetings, start putting stuff in there. I'm making calls at this hour. You don't want to go into your calendar, stare at a bunch of white space. That's going to be really depressing. You're going to drift and feel like, I can't do this. I don't want to do this. I'm done. And we always talk about, if you get in the habit of quitting, you're going to quit the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So power through, get through that valley of despair, understanding that if you go to the other side, you have success. Hope, guys, is not a strategy. We tell that to our clients and tell that to our agents. A plan creates focus and momentum. You know what you should be doing at what time and why. Every agent should answer, how many conversations per week? How many appointments per week? How many clients and partners per month? Which verticals am I focused on right now? You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your systems. That's a very important thing for you guys to understand. Just because you have goals, you're not going to rise to those. You rise to your goals by having systems, leverage, all of the stuff that we're talking about in place. If you don't have those things in place, you're going to fall to your system. So that's very, very important. Number 4, execute relentlessly. You're not going to feel like executing all the time. If you sit down in a chair 8 hours a day, not much is going to happen. If you go in at it 30 minutes at a time, real aggressively, bringing energy, intensity to the moment, value that moment in time, do what you need to do, step back, do some exercise, go walk, grab some lunch, whatever it is. Short bursts, like a boxing round. You go out at it for, whatever time period you want, and you step away. You go back at it again. Consistency wins. Consistent results, daily actions, all of these things. Consistency comes from a plan of action, execution, written down things, all the things we're talking about. This is a blueprint and a framework for you guys to be successful. Consistency beats intensity. I've had people come in the business and I thought, man, this person is going to.
You know what? They fired the head coach.
Hold on 1 second.
Over this whole thing.
All right. I've had people come in the business and for like 90 days, they tore it up. They were just kicking butt, writing deals, bringing in people, and then they just took their foot off the accelerator. This is a business where you can't push your foot on the gas and then decelerate. Push your foot on the gas and decelerate. If you do, that start and stop motion is going to kill your business altogether. So you have to execute relentlessly, even when it's boring. Guys, boring makes you money. Sooner you understand, digest, and accept that, easier it's going to be for you to build the business. Small actions repeated daily create massive outcomes. Once again, small actions repeated daily with consistency and grit create massive outcomes. Execution examples here: daily outreach, daily follow-ups, weekly presentations, weekly learning and implementation. Notice that all of these things, if you have a system in place, it's a lot easier to be organized. If you're not organized, things fall through the cracks. That's revenue, that's income, that's growth, that's partners. You are losing to being unorganized. You got to get yourself organized this year. And then once you organize yourself and you have the systems in place, execute, execute, execute. Those agents that win this year, they're not necessarily going to be the most excited. They'll be the most consistent. Put your head down, understanding, just like anything that you would try to do. If you need to lose weight, if you need to stop drinking, stop smoking, it's going to be the consistency of abstaining from that, or in our case, the consistency of going out and executing. Those that learn, apply, always improve. You have to go beyond and grow beyond your comfort zone. This is a commitment to learning and implementation. I love learning and implementing new things in my business. It's my favorite part of the business because it allows me to continue to grow. You have to commit to learning and implementing what you learn. If you just stop learning, there's so much stuff out there right now that person who is hungry for that knowledge, willing to learn and implement that, is going to have a huge advantage over you. Information without implementation, that's called entertainment. We're not here to entertain ourselves. We're here to grow an asset. We're here to grow a legacy. We're here to grow a business. Training only works if you changes the behavior. So the 2026 standard is learn, apply, review, and improve. If you just keep repeating that, you'll be great. So many people fall into the trap of attending meetings, watching the recording, but they don't extract the actions. You got to learn and implement, review, and improve. And then stretch personally and professionally. You got to do the uncomfortable stuff, making the uncomfortable calls, asking better questions, leading conversations, taking responsibility. Your business will never outgrow the person running it. You have to grow if you want your business to grow. If you stay concealed in this little box and never grow outside your comfort zone, your business is going to pay a heavy, heavy price for that. Growth lives outside the comfort zone. Confidence is built through repetition, not avoidance. If you avoid something, guess what? Just like we've been talking about, your brain is going to love to avoid that over and over and over and over and over again. It's cool with whatever you want it to do. You're going to set it on a path. It needs to be a positive growth path, growth area. And so when you look at these areas of growth and you look at doing them in the beginning, they're going to be very, very, very uncomfortable. I'm not here to lie to you or candy coat you. If you haven't done something, if you haven't made calls in a while, they're going to be very uncomfortable. You're not going to want to do it. You're going to try to sell yourself on why you shouldn't do it, or maybe do it tomorrow or next week. Sell yourself on doing it right now, getting it out of the way, because the more things that you do, the more comfortable it becomes. And then it becomes not something you have to think about, becomes second nature and habit, and you're just doing it without even realizing it. All right, let's very quickly go through the don'ts. I wanted to really concentrate on the do's because that's how you build your business. But you also, just like you learn from strengths and weaknesses, you learn from the do's and the don'ts. So these are the don'ts that are going to kill momentum, kill your business, and possibly kill your opportunity to become successful in this industry. Avoid these at all costs. Don't chase shiny objects. New tools won't fix old habits. If you need a tool, we probably have access to it and know somebody who can get it for you. Um, your habits are the most important thing. So don't think that I go out there and spend all this money on buying this or doing this or getting these leads that it's going to fix your business. It's your habits that's going to fix your business. Focus creates traction. Master one system before adding another. Same thing. This is why I tell you guys, do not try to go out at all platforms. Hey, I'm going to do Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm getting no traction on any of these. Why are these? Because they all have different algorithms. They all have different platforms. Take one, learn it real well, start extracting value and results from there, and then move on to something else. You're not going to be good at everything. This jack of all trades, master of nothing. You guys have heard that before. Don't be that person. Master one thing and then move on, because as you master something, you know what happens? You can teach other people. And that helps you with the distribution build out of this business. Don't confuse activity with productivity. You can be real active and be broke. That's not what we're trying to do. Examples of fake progress is over planning. If you're constantly in the planning and preparing stage, that's just a veiled way to procrastinate doing what you need to do, which is taking the action steps. Over posting without conversations. Everything you do, text, email, call, post, it should all have a goal or objective behind it. Why am I calling this person? Why am I texting this person? Why am I posting this? Everything needs calls to action. You need to lead the conversation. If you don't lead the conversation, somebody else is going to lead it, and that's not going to get you where you want to go. Watching more training instead of making calls. Training, learning is important. There's nothing more important than doing the activity that's going to create revenue. Income producing activities, IPAs. Income follows conversations, not preparation. You can be the most well-prepared person and never take any activity because you don't feel you're fully prepared. That's $0. That's zero activity. That's zero growth. That is somebody who's going to quit this business. Don't avoid selling. Guys, people look at selling as something bad. Selling is just serving when it's done correctly. If I give somebody a tax-free retirement plan, if I give them mortgage protection, if I give them a plan to convert their debt to wealth, whatever it is, if I've done my job, I'm asking for the sale. Why? Because I'm not doing it at a parasitic relationship. I've done my job. I've done it correctly. I'm going to ask for the sale. Selling is serving when done correctly. If you believe in the solution, offering it is your responsibility. I don't look at, hey, if this person doesn't buy this from me, I'm not going to make a commission. I look at, hey, if I don't get to this person and help this person, they're not going to get the point where we planned out in the original discovery. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. You should have learned that as a kid talking to your parents, but if you don't ask, the answer is always no. You'd be surprised how many people get to the end of something and don't ask for the sale. If you don't ask for the sale, the answer is always no. Income follows conversations, not preparation. Don't recruit without support. So there's two sides to this business. There's production and there's distribution. You get to distribution by building agencies. If you want to do all this on your shoulders and produce 100% of your revenue and income every single month, that's up to you. But, John Wooden said it best. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, you're going to need a team. This is what we do. We build teams. We coach, mentor, train, support them into independence so they can go out and do it on their own. Recruiting does not end up at the sign up. We're not just recruiting and send them off to a desert island somewhere. Recruiting continues after the sign up. It's about a 90-day process after that sign up that the recruiting continues. Early support reduces attrition and builds loyalty. So once again, if somebody signs up to be a partner with you and you don't call them for 2 or 3 weeks, from their standpoint, they're going to be like, you don't care about their success. You don't care about them. And you just wanted a number on the board for whatever reason. A number on the board for recruiting does absolutely nothing for you. You can have 100 people in your agency. If 0 of those people are doing something, then you have an agency of 0, unfortunately. We don't collect agents. When I was a kid, I collected baseball cards. We're not collecting agents here. We're developing leaders. That's a very important point. So not just everybody that can fog up a mirror should be coming into your business. There should be an interview process. There should be expectations laid out. You should be disqualifying people that you don't think stand a chance to make it in this business. Don't try to do everything alone. We have that virtual assembly line, marketers, managers, consultants, especially if you're newly licensed, just getting your license, you need to lean heavily on other people. This is team-based. This is assembly line model. Took it from the old Henry Ford playbook, right? Leverage marketers, managers, and consultants to work together for the benefit of the partner and the benefit of the client. Independence creates burnout. If you're going to try to do all this on your own, it's going to be a burnout. And then, it's hard to return from a burnout. Collaboration creates scale. Independence creates burnout. Collaboration creates scale. You have to understand that. I was the type of person younger in life that just did everything because the time I asked somebody to do it and explained how to do it, I could have just done it myself. I had to learn the hard way. You cannot go through life that way. If you're that type of person like I was earlier on, you need to start learning to let go and put your faith in other people to get stuff done. All right, let's end this with the last couple of slides. Hopefully you guys understand that, if you pass something off to us, we're going to do the best possible job to get you paid for your role. Marketers, what is your job? It's to initiate conversations and lead flow. If you can create leads and you can hook up with a good consultant that can close sales, guess what? The marketer's happy, the consultant's happy, the client's happy, and the manager right there in the middle, like an orchestra conductor, structure, accountability, growth. So the marketer and the consultant are on the two bookends, creating leads, resolving leads. The manager's in the middle, making sure everybody's in the right place, the right time. All these people get paid for their jobs if they do it correctly. You don't have to master all the roles, but you do have to respect them and understand them. If I'm a marketer and I'm linking up with a consultant who's not closing deals for me and I'm bringing them good clients, potential clients, well, that's a conversation that the manager needs to step in. So understand we've created all this so that there's ways that you can gravitate towards what you want to specialize in. We're not boxing you and you can grow with your business. But if there's breaks or stoppages in this assembly line, we're able to identify where they are and we're able to identify the reason and correct that. Your success formula for this year: the right tools, clear personas, a written plan, relentless execution, continuous learning, and professional growth. Do these things and momentum becomes inevitable. Because you guys know what peak income is? Athletes have that. So a lot of athletes, like if they go into the NBA or the NFL, basically from the time they start walking, they are training, they're playing, they're doing everything they need to make high school, college, and the pros. That peak earning only lasts for a few years. We have a peak earning opportunity right now that you don't have to put decades into. You can put 36 to 48 months, really 24 to 36 to 48 months into this opportunity. Create income, create an asset, create equity, walk away with an equity check, and look back and say, yeah, I did what I wanted to do and I made it happen. Versus I was at the right place at the right time, but I didn't do what I needed to do and I watched everybody else become successful. This is not a spectator sport. So reflection and call to action. One do, one don't, one bold action, decide and commit. Do these things and momentum becomes inevitable. So what are we talking about? Write down one do that you're committing to in 2026, one don't that you're eliminating this coming year, one uncomfortable action you're going to take this week, this year, the next year after that, the previous years. Any time period doesn't require perfection. It requires commitment. Decide today what you're going to be and then act like it every day. If you want to be an agency owner and you want to be a 7-figure earner and you want a 7 or 8-figure equity check over the next few years, you start acting like it right now. Play the part right now, even though you're not there, and go out and visualize what it's going to look like at the end of the road and start putting the pieces in right now. Because if you don't, this is what happens. There's January, there's February, there's March, there's April, there's May. Time keeps on ticking no matter what you do or what you don't do. You need to understand the value of time, the value of being great in the moment, and execute this year, guys, with our help. Any help you need, let us know. My first question is going to be, what have you been doing? If it's nothing, that is your problem. So please understand that.